Okay, so the big project is done. Everyone's breathing a sigh of relief, right? Maybe even cracking open some champagne. But let's be honest, there's always that little voice in the back of your head asking, yeah, but did we actually win? Today, we're going to push past that finish line feeling and figure out how to measure the success that really counts. I mean, think about it. The work is done. You hit the deadline, the project's out the door, high fives all around. But is that it? Is that really a success? Answering that question, did you win, is way harder than it looks. And honestly, it's what separates the good teams from the truly great ones. So, how do you measure success? This slide really lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you've got your gut feeling, and yeah, it feels good, but try defending that in a meeting. It's subjective, it's unreliable. On the other hand, you've got outcome analysis. This is the good stuff, objective, strategic, and totally data-driven. We're talking about building a rock-solid case for your success, not just, feeling like you won. All right, so how are we going to get there? Here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the project aftermath. Then, we'll dive into measuring what matters. After that, we'll connect the dots, and we'll wrap it all up with the strategic takeaway. It's a simple 4-step process to get from we're done to here's what we do next. Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1, the project aftermath. This is all about moving past those gut feelings and into some real strategic thinking. So what does this strategic analysis actually look like? Well, it's a process called an outcome assessment. And no, this isn't just another boring debrief meeting. It's a structured way to measure what actually happened, compare it to what you thought would happen, and, this is the key part, spot the patterns that'll help you crush it next time. All right, on to Section 2, measuring what matters. This is where we put on our detective hats. We're gathering the clues, the cold hard facts, that tell the real story of what went down with your project. And where do we start our investigation? With a super simple, brutally honest comparison. You take your key areas, like financials, operations, what have you, and you put what you planned right next to what actually happened. That last column, variance, that's where the truth lives. No spin, no excuses, just the data. Let's talk numbers, the quantitative stuff. Did you hit your targets? So in this example, the goal was $100K in revenue. But look at that, they actually brought in $125K. That's the what. It's a clear, simple number that says, hey, we knocked this out of the park. But numbers don't tell the whole story, do they? That's where the qualitative outcomes come in. This is the why behind the what. Did you make things more efficient? Is your team feeling fired up? Are customers raving about you now? Maybe you even stumbled on a new idea that could be a total game changer. These things are just as crucial as any revenue number. Okay, so you've got your internal story, you've got the numbers, you've got the context, but you can't just take your own word for it, right? You've got to look outside your own bubble. That's where external validation comes in, and it's what makes your success story bulletproof. Did customer surveys say the same thing you're saying? Did you get any industry props? What are your partners and stakeholders saying? Getting that outside perspective turns your internal report into something nobody can argue with. Okay, so we've collected all of this data. Now for the really important part. Welcome to Section 3, Connecting the Dots. This is where we turn all that raw information into some actual strategic wisdom. So how do we do it? Think of it like a 3-step learning process. Step 1, figure out what made you successful. What were the key factors? Step 2, dig into the surprises. The good, the bad, the weird. Why did that happen? And Step 3, diagnose what didn't work. And I don't just mean pointing fingers. I mean really understanding why you underperformed in certain areas. And this is where we need to think bigger. It's so easy to just focus on the short-term impact, right? Did our business grow this quarter? But the real trick is to look at the long-term impact too. Did this project build lasting customer trust? Did it make a positive mark on your community? That's the stuff that really defines success in the long run. And that brings us to the grand finale. Section 4, the strategic takeaway. All this work, all this analysis, it's all been leading up to this, making that one big smart decision about what to do next. So after all that digging and analyzing, you need to bring it all together. You boil it down to one number, an overall success rating. Let's say an 8 out of 10. Now, this isn't just a number you pull out of thin air. It's a weighted score based on everything. The quantitative, the qualitative, the external feedback. It's your final verdict. So, what's the point of that 8 out of 10? It tells you what your next move is. All your analysis should lead you to one of 3 clear paths. Do you scale it? Pour more resources in because it's a huge winner? Do you modify it? Tweak the parts that didn't work so well?
Or do you retire it, learn the lessons, and move on? See? The data doesn't just tell you if you won, it tells you how to win again.
And that leaves us with this one final, incredibly important question. This is the question you should be asking after every single project. Did the achieved outcomes align with the intended strategic goals, and what do they reveal about future decision-making and direction? Seriously, if you can answer that question honestly, you're not just finishing projects anymore. You're building a smarter, stronger organization, one project at a time. And that's how you make sure every finish line is a stepping stone to an even bigger victory.